This is Matt Hicks with the Texas Rangers, and you're listening to the Ranger Report podcast.
This is the Ranger Report podcast. News, insights, predictions, interviews, and information about the Texas Rangers from the major leagues to the minor leagues. And now, here are your hosts, Ben Dieter and CJ Berryman.
Experience the joy of watching your friends and family's faces light up when you feed them wild game you harvested and made into delicious sausages, or meat you barbecue and grill with the finest seasonings available. Visit our friends at Waltons.com to find everything you need to turn wild game into tasty meat snacks, or spice up your barbecue with new flavors and seasonings. With over 500 seasonings to choose from, there's something that everyone will love. They even have step-by-step videos and how-to articles at Logistics to help you go from animal to edible. Use coupon Rangers15 at checkout to save 15% on your first order at Waltons.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.
Yeah, if you can't taste a patty melt, you definitely got COVID then.
Welcome to the Ranger Report podcast. This is CJ Berryman. You can find me on Twitter at CJB_RR. And luckily for y'all don't have to listen to Ben. No, I'm kidding. Ben is not here. He is adulting and doing adult things, teaching kids how to try to adult. But I do have a special guest here, Jack Spiggers. Thank you for joining us, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you having me on, CJ.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll get going here. So you played college ball at Arkansas. What was it like to go back there when you were playing for Frisco and to play in that state again?
That was one of the cooler moments I had of the 2021 season. My best friend from college, Jared Gates, he gives lessons in Springdale. Got his house, everything. He's being full grown-up mode. So I got to go back. I got to hang out with him he came to all the games, and we got dinner. We hung out during the day. So it was cool to kind of be back in action, back in the state of Arkansas, and seeing a lot of familiar faces and just catching up with people I haven't seen in a couple of years and whatnot.
And talk about Arkansas football. They kind of made some noise this year.
Yeah. It was definitely due. So they got a good coach steering the ship, and I think he's getting those boys right, and just having that Arkansas mentality and just knowing that tough, gritty, just getting after it, kind of the way they played this year, and it definitely showed up on the field.
All right, so you got a pretty strong relationship with Blain Crim, and he told us we had him on a couple weeks ago, and he told us a funny story about his debut at Frisco, and actually Ben was there to see his debut. So he struck out on 3 pitches in his first at bat, and so he went back into the dugout, and everybody's giving him hell, obviously. And he said that you told him, "Hey, you better be doing better than that if you want to stay in the lineup."
I don't know if those are my exact words, but it was definitely sarcasm. Blaine knows that. That's just how we talk. We mess around. But yeah, I think he hit a home run in that bat or two later. So when he hit that first home run, it was over from there. He was batting 3, 4, 5 from the rest of the year on.
Yeah, like I said, Ben was there, and it was the 9th inning, and Blaine crushed one. Not quite as far as Sam Huff, but talk about Sam Huff, and oh my God, does that dude have some power or what?
Yeah, Sam's it honestly doesn't make sense. He's great. He'll do his BP rounds and whatnot, and you can tell he's not trying to hit home runs, and he'll go backside off the wall, and you're like, Sam, did you get that? And he's just kind of like, yeah, I got it okay. I'm like, yeah, okay, well that's all I got. So he's going backside off the wall, but no, Sam's crazy explosive, and him hitting balls 440 is just kind of like another day for him. But it's fun, and you never get used to watching it. So it was fun to have him around.
he hit that 500-foot bomb that almost hit the apartments out there in left field. So talk about that shot.
Honestly, I think it was more impressive of how loud it was. The shot was more, or the home run was more loud than impressively far. It was like a legit gunshot. Obviously not a gunshot and whatnot, but the sound the ball makes off his bat doesn't make any sense, as well as how far he hits balls. It's every time it's just a different sound it makes.
Yeah, so it sounds like he's kind of one of those special players. Like, and I'm going to bring up Josh Hamilton with that, because they said that the ball sounded different off his bat. It just had more crack to it. So does Sam Huff have that ability, kind of?
I never got to see Hamilton play in person. But power wise, I would put the same up there with anybody. Just because there's proof in the pudding of hitting the ball 502 feet. There's not much more proof you need than raw power right there. So I'm not going to sit here and say he's Josh Hamilton or anything, but he definitely could be.
I'm not comparing him to a former MVP or anything, but just just kind of the comparison of just some guys, they have that power and the crack off the bat. It just sounds different. And
he's definitely the loudest bat I've ever heard.
All right, that's great. All right,
he's fun to be around.
All right, and so did you play any other sports as a kid or a high schooler?
Yep, I played baseball, basketball, football, and then I would run track all the way up until baseball started. So I do all like the track workouts and whatnot, and then baseball would start. So I never ran in a meet, which is probably a good thing. I probably got dusted, but I never ran in a meet. However, I did all like the track workouts, and so I got familiar with how all that stuff works, and all throughout high school and whatnot.
All right, and Frisco had an amazing season. I mean, it was so fun to cover, and talk about how much fun it was to be on such a talented team.
Yeah, that was the most fun I ever had playing baseball was that past 2021 season. Like me personally, I struggled a little bit, and usually when you struggle, it's not as fun. But the team we had, we were winning. I mean, we felt like we won every series to an extent. But when you have a fun team, you're around guys you enjoy being around, and your team's winning, it's just hard not to enjoy the game of baseball and being around people you want to be around.
Absolutely.
So,
you could tell you guys were just having fun, and that the camaraderie and all that kind of stuff, it goes into play into how you play. Is that a accurate assessment?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we would lose games, and you could tell guys weren't happy, but it was like, okay, post-game speech, take a shower. All right, let's get back to having fun, and don't dwell on it. And then next thing you know, we usually come out the next day with a W. So we did a good job at not sitting on the past, and then we did a good job of when we had momentum, we just kept that momentum going.
Yeah, and then you got moved up to AAA to Round Rock at the tail end of the 2021 season. What was different about playing at that level?
So I was only there for a week. So I don't have all the answers, obviously, but man, in that 1 week I learned, I feel like I'm a very high IQ baseball guy. And after that 1 week of AAA, it was like, I was mind blown. I was like, wow. So I learned a ton. It's different. You're playing in AA, you're playing against guys who are like 23 or even 20, or I mean, I think Bobby Witt was 20 or 19. So there's guys who are 19, and then there's guys who are close to like 29, 30. And then AAA, there's a lot more older guys. You're facing guys
you get a mix of both. You get a mix of both.
So you're facing a lot of guys who just came back down from the big leagues, or they're in rehab, going making one more start in AAA before they go back to the bigs. So that was probably the most difference. Was like, I felt very experienced, and then when I got there, I felt like I was the youngest guy, and it was just it was like 24 hours later, and it's like, oh shoot, I'm crazy young.
Yeah, you got your feet wet though, and that's most important, right?
Yeah. I got familiar with how it works a little more up there, so I do get that chance to be back up there, I won't be, sore thumb or whatever. I'll have an understanding of how it works and how guys go about it different up there. And I'll just be able to, ease in a lot easier than having to, be a fresh start.
What are your goals for 2022?
First goal is always, stay healthy. And then next goal is just be prepared and do what I do. Meaning like, 0 for 4, don't go in there and change everything up next day because you went 0 for 4.
Don't have that snowball effect.
Yeah.
Don't have the snowball
effect.
Don't
let the snowball. Just do what I do, play my game, and don't try to be something I'm not. I don't need to be Sam Huff. I can try to be him as long as I want. I'll never be him. So I just be Jack Spiggers and just play the way I play, and if it works out, it works out, and just go from there.
I like the way you said that. Just play within yourself. And you know what another guy did that is the same, had that same mentality? Michael Young. He was he was actually an average talent, but turned himself and worked his ass off and became, one of the best average hitters in the league. Yeah. So is that does that kind of resonate with you as well? Because it sounds like 100%. It does.
Yeah, growing up, my two favorite players growing up were Craig Biggio, because just being from Houston, and the last name kind of, it just sounds kind of similar. But then, growing up, watch a lot of Rangers game growing up. Michael Young was my favorite player, him and Biggio. So I feel like they're both kind of the same, like, just hardworking, keep your head down, get to work, and just, I don't know. Something about those two guys makes me definitely play, kind of want to play like them.
All right, we're going to change it up right now because you already answered my next question with who you looked up to growing up. So what is the funniest thing anyone has ever said to you on the baseball diamond?
The funniest thing?
Funniest thing.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many stories. And
you can cuss on this podcast because we don't give a shit. We do.
Perfect.
We do.
So actually in Amarillo, one of my best friends
right up here. Yeah.
Yep. The good old sod poodles. But one of my best friends was Dominic Fletcher. And so through him, I met a couple of his teammates, Stone Garrett, who's from Houston. So I already knew Stone a little bit. I was extremely close with Fletcher, and they had their best friend on the team. One of their best friends was a catcher, Dominic. Well, I'm going to botch this, but Miragoli. But so I got to be around him a ton. We played Amarillo 18 out of our last 24 games. So we were just around him all the time. And we were both kind of, we both struggled in the beginning of the year. And neither one of us are kind of like we don't really mope about it. We just, hey, it is what it is. Fix it, move on, and get better from it. And he's the same way. And so, I mean, we had so many conversations at the plate where he's catching, I'm hitting. And there's times where like I'm just trying not to laugh. I mean, he makes
it's like a Jake Taylor moment from Major League.
Right? Yeah. But I'm hitting. One of the umpires, I can't remember his name. I think it was Raul. I think it was Raul was the umpire behind the plate, and then Dom Miragoli's catching, and there's a ball inside, and I kind of like brush off the plate a little bit, try to avoid it, and it wasn't that close to me. But Raul calls it a ball, and Dom's like, "Oh, you're falling for that bullshit." And me and Dom we'd already been familiar, and I know how he works behind the plate for a couple of games, so I just started busting out laughing, and I'm facing I think it was Tommy Henry. Was that him? Yeah, the lefty from
yeah.
And so I'm facing, I'm already struggling with lefty on lefty that year. And I just got a big ass smile on my face because I'm trying not to laugh. And we got a pitch count or a pitch clock. So I got to be in the box within 6 seconds. Otherwise it gets called a strike. But, I mean, we had a lot of funny moments, but on the diamond, that one sticks out a ton. Just cause I don't know, just part of the moment, I guess. It was a good time. It was funny.
So, Blain called you one of the funniest people he's ever been around. So you got a joke for us?
No, my humor is more like of a smart ass. So like, you know,
Hey, you and I both, buddy.
Yeah, I don't just have a joke on top of my head. You know, you'll do something dumb, and I'll let you know in a funny way, and you know, it'll be funny, but I won't, you know, harp you about it. I just keep things light.
So I like covering you because you are right-handed throwing, but a left-handed hitter, and that's exactly the way I was when I was playing. So, do you kind of model your batting approach? Because my model was, I want to hit like Rusty Greer, so I had the huge lean back, you know, and doing that, and then trying to go oppo every time. So, what is your approach to play?
Since I was little, it's always been just try to hit the pitcher in the chin, the forehead, you know, keep a low line drive and just put some backspin on it. Obviously things are a lot more complicated, the longer you play, but the really good hitters, you watch them and you ask them what's their approach, and they're going to say gap to gap or middle, or just stay middle. So I just try to, you know, be gap to gap and stay middle. And there's times where I get real big and I'll hit a ball, you know, higher in the air, then it goes further. And that's when it's like, okay, get back to myself, stay short, stay quick, just keep it simple. Try to hit it right off his forehead. Just try to be able to go gap to gap. And if you get something down the line, great, you know. But my approach, it has been, you know, all right, I'm going to really try to hook this one just because, you know, you get mad, you get frustrated, you swing mad, you get big, and, you know, you do dumb stuff. But yeah, just gap to gap, keep it a low line drive, try to pitch him in the forehead.
All right, this is the most important question as we wind down here. What is your go-to at Whataburger?
Man, I've actually been cutting Whataburger out, but yeah. But when we go to Corpus, they got the first Whataburger there. So I definitely have a little late night Whataburger. But they got a new one, and it's called the Buffalo. It's not new, especially if
Buffalo Ranch chicken strip sandwich. Let me help you out there, buddy. And they just brought it back. Yeah. Okay,
sweet. Yeah, those things they I pay the price in about 3 hours from eating them, but man, those things are good.
You pay the price and poop.
Yeah, it comes out hot. So still those ones. But yeah, Buffalo chicken strip sandwich, no doubt.
Thanks for listening to the Ranger Report podcast. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and at therangerreport.com.